Hey guys, welcome to the channel Unshackling Sudokus and Puzzles. Today's video will be on a triple hybrid Sudoku variant. This variant was created by Philipp Blume. This Sudoku was posted by him on the Daily League Facebook group and it immediately caught our attention. Not just because of the interesting theme that it has. As you can see, there are two cat shapes in the grid. You know, this is the body of the cat and there is a tail here, and similarly there is one more cat in the grid, but also because it has three different variants within the same Sudoku. So we thought of making a video on this. Hope you guys enjoy this video. So the rules of the Sudoku are, in addition to classic rules, each row, each column and each box will have the digits from 1 to 9 without any repetition. Three different variants are combined in this grid. One is German whispers. The red line that you see on the grid, of which there is a kitty shape, is a German whisper line, meaning digits on adjacent cells of this line will have a difference of at least 5, and the digits on the gray line, which forms the second kitty shape, is a palindrome. That is, they read the same from both directions. So for example, if you have, let's say, a 6 here, then the other end of the line, palindrome line, will also be a 6, and the trend continues. So if this is a 2, this is a 2, this is a 3, this is a 3, and it keeps on continuing, right? It reads the same from both the directions. So the German whisper rule is applicable for the red lines, and the palindrome rule is applicable for the gray lines. And in addition to that, the final variant rule is the quadruple rule, meaning that you have a small circle, right, at the intersection of 4 cells. So these digits must be present inside these 4 cells, right? So if you have 4, 6 and 7, then 4, 6 and 7 must be placed in these 3 cells. There is no other restriction. For example, 4 may repeat two times, provided the Sudoku rules are not violated. But the only thing is that at least one instance of 4, 6 and 7 must be present in these 4 cells. So these are the rules. And before we move on to the grid, please check out our videos we have posted earlier, and if you haven't yet subscribed to the channel but you are continuously watching the videos, please subscribe to the channel, hit the subscribe button below. Your subscription will be a constant source of motivation for us. So having said that, we'll start solving the grid now. Okay, so while solving this variant, there is something very important to keep in mind, especially with regards to the German whispers Sudoku variant. So as you know, this red line is the German whisper Sudoku variant, right? So in a German whisper variant, the standard idea is, if one of the cells has digits from 1, 2, 3, 4, the other cell will have 6, 7, 8, 9, and it goes on and so forth. This is because the difference is at least 5, right? So if you have, let's say, digits from 1, 2, 3, 4 here, then it's apparent that you will have digits from 6, 7, 8, 9 here, because if you have again digits from 1, 2, 3, 4 here, then you will not be able to make a difference of 5 between successive digits on the line. So this trend keeps on continuing, right, in any German whisper Sudoku. But the only thing is that this cell need not be 1, 2, 3, 4. The trend may also continue this way: 6, 7, 8, 9, 1, 2, 3, 4, 6, 7, 8, 9, 1, 2, 3, 4, and goes on, right? So in short, we can say that, let me highlight these cells. So all the highlighted cells will contain digits from the same group of numbers. So by that I mean, if the purple cells contain 1, 2, 3, 4, digits from 1, 2, 3, 4, then all the purple cells will contain digits from 1, 2, 3, 4. And if the purple cells contain digits from 6, 7, 8 and 9, then all the purple cells will also contain digits from 6, 7, 8, 9 only. So this is one of the most important things to remember in a German whisper Sudoku. The other thing is very apparent, guys. A 5 can never be on a German whisper line, because you need a difference of 5. If you have 5 on a German whisper line, then the range will be outside, right? So you can never have 5 on a German whisper line. And some more small tricks are, if you have let's say a 4 on a German whisper line, then 9 can only be the digit which has a difference of 5, right? And similarly for 6, the only digit which has a difference of 5 is 1. For other digits, for example, if you have 2 maybe, then the adjacent digit can be 7, 8 or 9. But if you have 4, then the adjacent digit is only 9. And if you have 6, then the adjacent digit must only be 1. So these are the important things to remember while solving this variant. So with that, we'll start solving this grid. Hopefully we get something really good to continue the Sudoku. So let me start with the 5s. I know that the 5s can never be on a German whisper line, right? So let me see if I'm able to get something out of that. Okay, there is a quadruple clue 5 here, which means these 4 cells must have a 5 in them, at least one of the 4 cells. So which means that 5 has to be in these 2 cells, right? Because 5 cannot be on a German whisper line, so 5 has to go here. And row 8 seems to be heavily restricted because there is a German whisper line there. So 5 would be in any of these 5 cells. Okay, that is not much helpful. However, in box 8 there is a 2-5 clue, right? Which means that 2-5 must be in these 4 cells. 5 cannot be on a German whisper line, so 5 must be in one of these 2 cells. And I don't see any other 5 clue near a German whisper line, so not much use there. Let us look at the palindrome part to see if it's helping. Okay, I'm seeing something here, guys. So if you look at these 2 cells, right, these are the 1, 2, 3, 4, 5th and the 6th cells of the palindrome. And similarly 1, 2, 3, 4, 5th and 6th cells of the palindrome. They are heavily constricted, heavily constrained, I mean. So why? Because we know that there is a quadruple clue there which with 4, 6, 7 as digits at this end. And we also know that there is a quadruple clue with 1 to 8 as digits at this end, which means that it is severely restricted. So let us see if we can get something deeper from this clue. Okay, yes. So out of these 4 cells, 3 cells will contain digits 1 to 8, right? Which means that either these 2 cells will contain 1 to 8 and one of these cell will contain 1 to 8, or these 2 cells will contain 1 to 8 and one of these cell will contain 1 to 8. But can these cells contain 1 to 8? By that I mean, if 2 out of these 4 cells contain 1 to 8, then it follows that at this end of the palindrome we must have 1 to 8 as candidates, and now we cannot fit 4, 6, 7 into these 4 cells. Fantastic, right? So this follows that these 2 cells must contain 1 to 8 out of these 4 cells, because we know that 3 of those cells will contain 1, 2 and 8, which means that either 2 cells on the left contains 1 to 8 or 2 cells on the right contain 1 to 8. If 2 cells on the right contain 1 to 8, we have a contradiction here. So which means that the 2 cells on the left will contain 1 to 8. And similar logic, we cannot place 4, 6, 7 2 cells on the up, because then this follows that both of these cells will be 4, 6 and 7, and you cannot place the third digit of 1, 2 and 8, which means that the bottom 2 cells will contain 4, 6 and 7. Superb start, right? A really difficult step to see in the Sudoku. And now we are certain that the third digit of 4, 6 and 7 is here, and also the third digit of 1, 2 and 8 is here. And because of the palindrome, this is the 5th and the 6th cell of the palindrome, and this is the 5th and the 6th cell of the palindrome, it follows that 1 of 1 to 8 goes here and 1 of 4, 6, 7 goes here. So which means that both of these cells will be 1 to 8, 4, 6 and 7, and both of these cells can only be 1 to 8, 4, 6 and 7. No other candidate is possible. So can we reduce the possibilities further? So I cannot have a 6 here, right? Because, or a 4 here. If I have a 4 or a 6 here, then due to the German whisper line, both of these lines must be 1 or 9. So both 4 and 6 are eliminated from here. A quick elimination, because both these cells will be forced to 1 or 9 because of the difference being 5. At least 5, I mean. So which means that this cell, the fifth cell, must be 1, 2, 7 or 8. It can't be anything else. And now I can eliminate the 4 from here, right? Because it's better to see from this direction. I can eliminate the 4 from this cell, because that would force a 9 here, and we do not have any 9 in that cell. So which means this cell is not a 4, and similarly this cell is not a 4. Palindrome rule used at the other end. Okay, rest of the digits are likely. So I don't think we can do something further here. Let us look at some other place. This seems to be restricted area, because if you look at the rest of the quadruple clues, there are only 1 or 2 clues inside, and here there are 3 clues. Let us see if we can do something here. Okay, so what I am getting here is that I can eliminate 6 from this cell. If I have a 6 here, then both of these cells must contain a 1, so that the German whisper rule holds good. So 6 is not possible here. So 6 is in these 3 cells. Can I have a 2 here? Wow, this is fantastic, guys. This is simply stunning. You can eliminate 2 also from here, because if I have a 2 here, then the 2 in this quadruple clue will be forced here. It can't go into these 3 cells. And now due to the German whisper rule, because you have a 2 here, this becomes 6, 7, 8. But we already know that the highlighted cells will contain digits from the same group of numbers. So if you have a 2 here, this is forced as 2, and this becomes opposite of the group. And if you look these 2 cells, both of these will contain digits from the same group of numbers. That is, they will either be 1, 2, 3, 4 or 6, 7, 8, 9, which is contradicted when you place a 2 here. Superb, right? So this is not a 2. So 2 is forced in these 3 cells. Can I have a 7 here? So if I have a 7 here, then all these 3 cells will contain digits from the same group of numbers. By a group of numbers, I mean either 1, 2, 3, 4 or 6, 7, 8, 9. So if I have a 7 here, then this must be 8, right? It cannot be 1 or 2, so this must be 8, and this must be a 6, right? Because it should be from the same group of numbers. So a 6 here forces a 1 here, and this has to be a 2 to satisfy the quadruple clue. That is okay. So now we are getting a contradiction, guys. So when you have a 7 here, all these digits are forced, right? Now what would you place in this cell? Because the German whisper has to be true, this has to be 1, 2, 3, 4, but you already have 1 and 2 here. So which means this would be 3, 4, but the difference cannot be a 5 now. Amazing, right? A really narrow deduction to see in the grid. The elimination of 7 at this point. Superb. So which means that 7 is also eliminated from this point. So 7 will also be forced here. So we form basically a triplet in these 3 cells. We have eliminated all of 2, 6, 7 from this cell. Superb, guys. This is superb. So if I have a 6 here, then it is leading to the same situation, right? So I cannot have a 6 here. Because if I have a 6 here, for the German line to be true, this would be 1, and I force the 1 here now, and I lead to the same situation. This is a different group of parity, and this is a different group of parity, and both of these cells ultimately become different parity now, right? So by parity I mean the group of digits, so which means that 6 is also eliminated from here. So this is not a 6. Can I have a 2 here? Two seems possible. Let us see if I can have a 7 here. Seven also seems possible. Oh, 7 is not possible, guys. So if you have 7 here, then to have a difference of at least 5, row 3 column 2 must be 1 or 2. And now regardless of whether this is 1 or 2, due to this quadruple clue, if this is a 1, this would be a 1, and if this is a 2, this would be a 2. And now what happens is that both of these digits will be of opposite grouping. So this will actually be different than what this grouping is, right? So we cannot have that, because all the purple cells will have the same group of digits as we saw previously. So which means that this is also not a 7. Simply fantastic start to the Sudoku, guys. What a stunning construction. An amazing Sudoku, really fun to solve. So which means that we get our first digit. This cannot be a 7. So this would be a 2. And these two digits will be 6 and 7. And which means that this would be, to have a difference of 5. We can quickly write all the digits. So this would be from the group of 6, 7, 8, 9. This would be 1, 2, 3, 4. This would be 6, 7, 8, 9. This would be 1, 2, 3, 4. Let us quickly write those. Right? And this would be 6, 7, 8, 9. This would be 1, 2, 3, 4. This would be 6, 7, 8, 9. But you have 1, 2 and 8 as the only possibilities there, which means that this would immediately become an 8. And this cannot be 7, 8 now. This would be 1 and 2. And this cannot be 1 and 2 now. This would be 6, 7 and 8. Fantastic, right? So we used the idea that we saw earlier and quickly wrote the digits. And which means that 8 can be eliminated from here. Classic. So this is not 8 and this is not an 8. And because this is 2, the minimum value here must be a 7. And similarly, minimum value here must be, oh, you have a 6, 7 pair here, which means this is not 6, 7 and this is not 6, 7, and that gives an 8, 9 pair. And with classic, we can eliminate the 2 from here and the 2 from here. I can't have the 4 here because 4 and 8 difference is only 4, so 4 is also eliminated from here. And this 6, 7 pair gives me a 9 here, so this will be a 9. And I need to have 1, 2 inside these 4 cells to satisfy the quadruple clue. You can't have, you have 1 of 1 and 2 here, which means the other of 1 and 2 must be here, so that I get the, satisfy the quadruple clue, which means that this cell will be a 3. So after getting that start, we are getting digits suddenly very fast. So because of this 3, this is not a 3, so this is 1 and 4. And 4 can be eliminated from here because then both of these digits will be 9, so this will be a 1. And this is not a 1, this is 2, 3, 4. And using same reason, 4 is eliminated from here, this would be 2 and 3. And 6 is eliminated from here because then both of these cells would be 1. 6 is eliminated from here, 6 is eliminated from here because both these would be 1 then. So I have 2, 5 in these 4 cells, which means that these cells cannot be a 2. So I can eliminate 2 from those cells, and I can use the palindrome property to reciprocate these cells into these cells. So which means this will be 1 and 2 and this will be 6 and 7. Okay, so there is a 2 here, so no 2 here. So this is 1, 3 and 4, and I can't have 4 here because then both of those cells would be 9. So this is 1 and 3. So if I look at this cell, it's very constrained. It cannot be 1, 2, 3. It cannot be 6, 7, 8 and 9. So this can only be 4 and 5. Wow, this is a really deep deduction, guys. So I know that the 7 is going to be in these 4 cells, but I can quickly eliminate the 7 from this cell, right? Because if the 7 is here, then 7 would be here, and then this quadruple clue will not have any 7 because of these 7s. So 7 is eliminated from here. So which means that the 7 is in these 3 cells, right? Now can I have a 7 here? So if I have a 7 here, then this cell would be a 7 because of the 6-7 pair, and that forces a 7 in this cell, the third cell from this palindrome, which means that 1, 2 and 3, this will also be a 7. Now you have 2 7s in box 2. Not possible, right? Superb, guys. Fantastic deduction. So which means that this is not a 7, right? So all these we can eliminate. So this becomes a 6. This would be a 6, this would be a 6, and this would be a 7. And which means this is not a 6, this would be 7, 8, 9. So I think this cell is severely constrained now because of the digits here. So this cannot be 6, 7, 8, 9. So it can only be 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. But it cannot be 1, 2 and 3. So this would be 4 and 5, which means this would be 4 and 5. Because both of these cells are equal in value. They are the ends of the palindrome. And now I have 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 in this row, which means that the remaining digits must be 6, 7, 8 and 9. So the third cell from this direction is 7, 8, 9, so which means this will be a 7, 8 and 9. And the sixth cell is 6, so which means this cell would be a 6. And these two cells must be 4, 7 for the quadruple clue. So that gives a 7, eliminates a 7 from here, and 8 is already here, so which means this would be a 9. And this is not a 7 or a 9, so this would be 8. Superb, guys, superb. So much fun to solve. And which means this is 8, classic, because of this 9, and that gives a 9 here. And this 9 eliminates the 9 from here, which means 9 is eliminated from here, and there is also an 8 here, which means this would be a 7, and this would be a 7 correspondingly. So which means this is not a 7, this is 8 or 9, the second cell. And this 7 gives a 6, 8, 9 triplet here. Okay, so you have a 6 here, which means this is not a 6, so this is 7, 8, 9. And because of the 8 here, I cannot have a 4 here, so this is 1 or 3. So there is an 8 not possible in these cells, which means that 8 must go into these cells, and I already have a 5 in these cells, so which means I can lock 5, 8 pair here. So if I look at this column, 2, 3, 9, 1, 5, 8, so remaining digits are 4, 6 and 7. So there is a 7 here, so this is 4 and 6, and 6 here gives a 4 and 7. Okay, I have a 6 in column 4 and column 6, which means that 6 must be in these 3 cells, but 6 is eliminated from here, and 6 cannot be in this cell, because then both of these cells will be 1, right? So 6 is eliminated from row 5 column 5, so 6 would be here, and which means that this cell would be 1, 2, 3, 4, and this cell would be 6, 7, 8, 9, and 6 is quickly eliminated from here. So if you have a 6, we know that the adjacent digit must be a 1, because the only possible digit which has a difference of 5 with 6 is 1, and which means this is not a 1, this is 2, 3 and 4, right? And this one gives a 3 here, classic rule, and which means this cell is not a 7, because adjacent digit has to have a difference of 5 at least, and this 3 gives a 2 here, and this 2 gives a 1 here and a 2 here. Beautiful. And due to the palindrome, you will get a 1 here, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, right? And using classic, column 4 and column 5 has a 1, which means this will be a 1. And now if you look at row 8, 1, 2, 8, 9, 4 and 7, so remaining digits are 3, 5 and 6. There is a 6 here, so this is 3, 5. So these cells, okay, there is a 6 here, and after which there is a 3 following, which means after 6 you need to have a 3 to satisfy the grey palindrome line. So this 3 gives a 1 here, classic, 2 3 6 1 5 8 9. So which means these two cells must be 4 7. There is a 7 here, so the 4 7 gets resolved quickly, which means that this would be a 4 palindrome, and this 4 gives a 7 here and a 4 here. This 4 gives a 7 here, and this would be 4 6. Okay, 1 can be placed in column 3 due to classic, and again classic we can place this one and this one. We can place all the ones due to classic. And now these two cells must be 1 2 7 8 3 4 6. So these two cells must be 5 1 9. So if you look at column 3, there are two cells left for the 5, but because of this 5 you get a 5 here, and this becomes a 6, right? Which means this cell would be a 4, and this 5 goes, okay, this 5 gives a 3 here, and this would be a 2. So we are getting digits smoothly now right after we found the start, guys. Fantastic creation. I'm really enjoying solving this Sudoku. I hope to see more of such fun to solve Sudokus from Philipp. So 1 2 3 8 6 7 9. So this would be 4 5, which means this is a 6. So 1 5 9 2 4 6 3 7 8. This is just regulation stuff, guys. I'm sure that you will be doing this better than me. So 1 3 9 2 4 7 8. So this will be 5 6, and this will be 2 and 9, right? F4 is here, so you can eliminate the 4 from here. This is 2 3. Okay, I must have a 9 in these 4 cells, right? Due to classic, due to the quadruple part. So which means this would be a 9, because there is no other cell which can take a 9. So which means this is not a 9, this is 7 or 8. And 9 must go into these two cells now, but it cannot go into this cell, right? Because if this cell is a 9, then this cell would be a 9, but you have already 9 here. So which means this would be a 9. So this cell cannot be 1 7 9, cannot be 2 3 6. So this will be 4 5 and 8. And correspondingly this would be 4 5 and 8. Okay, so 7 in row 4 has only one cell left. No other cell can take the 7. So which means these two cells must be 4 5 8 for the row. There is an 8 here, so this is not an 8, this is 4 5. So this cell, if you look at, it's going to be 2 3 and 4, right? It cannot be 1 6 7 8 9, and it cannot be a 5, because 5 is in these 4 cells. So this will be 2 3 and 4, and this will be 2 3 4. But you have a 4 here, so this is not a 4, which means the other end of the palindrome line cannot be a 4. So this is 2 and 3. So you have a 2 3 pair here now. So 1 2 3 7 4 and 9, right? So remaining digits are 5 6 and 8. There is a 6 here, so this is not a 6, which means this will be 6 for the row. This is not a 6, and that resolves this 5 6 pair. So this is 6, this is 5, and that gives a 6 here, classic. So this is 8 9 pair. So if you look at box 5, there is only one cell left for the 2. The 2 cannot go here, the 2 cannot go in any of these cells. So this will be a 2, which means this is a 3 and this is a 3. So these two cells must be 2 4 5. So let me write the possibilities there. But you can't take a 4 here, so this is 2 and 5. So still the Sudoku seems to be tricky, so I thought that it will get over soon. But there is still some life in the Sudoku. Okay, there is only one cell left for the 3 in box 5, so this will be a 3. And this cell for the column would be 5 8 9, right? Because 1 6 7 2 3 4. So this will be 5 8 9, but you have 5 9 in these 4 cells. Superb, guys. I think that must be the final nail in the coffin of the Sudoku. So we are going to complete it fast, I guess. So this will be 8. So which means that this will be 8, right? Palindrome. So and that 8 gives a 5 here and a 9 here and a 5 here, and which means this will be a 4 and this will be 8, which means you quickly get a 4-5 pair here. So this will be a 4-5, and because of this 4-5 you get a 2 here, a 5 here and a 4 here, which means the other end of the palindrome is 4, and this becomes 5, this becomes 5, this becomes 9, classic, and this 4-5 resolves this 4-5. 3, 6, 7, 8, 1, 5, 9. So 2 and 4. Because of this 4, you get a 4 and a 2 here, a 2 and a 9 here, a 9 and a 8 here. Superb. And this 8 resolves this 8-5 pair. And there are 2 8s here in column 7 and 9, which means this will be 8, this will be 3, and this will be 7. And now remaining digits are 2, 3, 7. You have a 7 in column 8 and 9. So this is a 7, this is a 3, and this is a 2. And with that, we have completed this fantastic grid by Philipp Blume. So much fun to solve. A really pretty and aesthetic theme with a highly challenging start and a really fun to solve path. Hope you guys enjoyed watching me solve this Sudoku. Please like and comment, and do share the video with your friends who may be interested in Sudokus. And remember to subscribe to the channel. We hope to see you soon with the video. Take care until then, guys. Bye bye.